speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, Diontae Johnson, you remember he was a member of the Baltimore Ravens last year, and there was some speculation that he did not want to enter the game at one point. They were playing, I believe, the Eagles, and it was a very cold day. He did not want to enter the game, and so he explained his decision on the Sports and Suits podcast earlier this month as to why he decided, I don't want any part of this.
I wasn't getting into, no run plays, no, passing plays, no nothing. It was cold. So I'm on the sideline, just standing there, just going to the heater back and forth, just waiting to hear my name called.
Yeah.
So in the third, going into the fourth or whatever, they're like, Tay, we need you. I'm like, to me, I don't think it's a good idea for me, because I was thinking about my legs. I don't want to go out there and put bad stuff on film.
Right.
And it's not like I didn't want to go in the game, but you got to think, leading up to this point, I've been through so much. And
like you said, man, you were kind of checked out.
I checked out mentally. I was like, whatever happens, happens. I was just rolling with the punches at that time. So I told him I wasn't going in. I was like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to go in. So I just sat on the bench. And then that's when they suspended me.
So there's the backstory of why Diontae Johnson was suspended. It's too cold.
You want me to weigh in on it? You want to go? You want me to get it? You want to go?
I think that's probably the last thing anybody wants to hear. I know he just signed a deal with Cleveland. I do not understand players that after the fact, while you're still playing, and I think it might have been Mecole Hardman who also aired out the Jets at one point or had some commentary for the Jets. I don't understand why you would want to label yourself and give people the perception of you while you're still playing. Try and earn as much money as you can, make as much money as you can, play nice, do what you need to do, and then after your career is over, let it fly if need be. In real time, why would you want anybody, especially if you're bouncing around the league as Diontae Johnson has, why would you want anybody to have a reason not to sign you with how many good players come into the league every single year?
It's just funny, the timing of the conversations, right? Because we just came out of a long conversation about guaranteed contracts. Well, if he has a guaranteed contract, how you feel about that? Right?
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Everything that he said, he's well within his personal beliefs and feelings to say that and come to those conclusions. But I think the one point that's missing in that conversation, when you're doing interviews, people love to ask questions that are, will give controversial, responses. But a lot of times, the interviewer isn't willing to ask or say the things that may infuriate, upset the person that's being interviewed, due to the fact that they may not interview with you ever again or will end the interview right then and there. The better question would have been, as an employee of that company, you do understand those are choices that you made. That's not your duty. That's not your responsibility and what you're getting paid for. You do understand that. That would have been my follow-up. You do understand if you chose to check out mentally, you chose that. That's a choice that you made because ultimately you're on your job. Am I supposed to, as a coach that's looking at my personnel, say to myself, can't send him in. He's probably checked out by now.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to do a job. And so to me, it just immediately says to me, you made a choice. And that choice led to you getting suspended. And if it were my team, you would probably have been released. We would have released you the next day. And that to me, you just have to understand, to say all those things. He said all that to say, I just didn't want to put any bad film on. I didn't want to put no bad put any bad plays on film. Like, bro, do you understand what you put into your reputation and record book?
That's a part.
I'd rather have a bad rep and be able to say they didn't play me all game. It was a cold ass game. I was not warmed up. This is what you get on film. It's a poor excuse of trying to get out of the way of saying you were butt hurt and you didn't want to go in. Listen, I'll give personal account. I was basically benched my last year in Washington. I was benched. And I was always waiting for him to call my name. Even as a former captain, all pro, Pro Bowler. I'm sitting on. I can remember being in Dallas, and one of the coaches. I was sitting on the cooler, and one of the coaches said, "Stay ready, VAR, stay ready." And I just laughed at him. Like, I don't have no intentions of putting me in. If they would have been like, Arrington, get in, like treated me like I was a rookie. Arrington, get in. I'm going to go in the game. You know why? Because my body of work and what I bring to the table and my teammates, that means more to me in those moments than any type of personal gripes or feelings that I may have towards, one, not being a starter, two, towards doing my job, right? And three, what I represent to my teammates. I've always told my teammates, we have to shine in the face of adversity, not sink and disappear. You have to be a superstar in those moments. And sometimes it seems like it's easy to be that person, and in others it's the most difficult. That was one of the most difficult times in my life, playing for the Washington Redskins and being benched over something that had absolutely zero to do with my talent, my skill level, the way I played. It had everything to do with a contract issue. Nonetheless, that's the situation I found myself in. But knowing if I'm going to practice every day, that's my job. I'm going to practice. That's my choice to be available. Knowing that on game day, they had no intentions of playing me, I'm going to if I'm putting my uniform on, if you're dressing me, I'm on the active roster, that's my job. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to encourage my teammates. I'm going to be ready to play if I need to play. I don't care what the weather is. I put the uniform on. I'm on the sideline. I'm ready to go. That's what my job is. And so to me, I can look my kids in the face and tell them to be big in the face of adversity. I can look at my mom and my dad and tell them, you raised me to be that type of person. I understand what adversity means. It's a privilege to be able to be in adverse situations, to have pressure on you. I get it. And in the midst of something that's not easy, I showed that the character that I have, the way I was raised, the way I see the world, that this is more important for me to be the best employee teammate that I can be versus being a privileged person and approaching it from the standpoint of, I checked out. This isn't for me. I don't want to play. Y'all don't want me to play. Y'all haven't used me. I don't want to play. If it was your job to make that decision, then you would be been in the game. It's not your job to make those decisions, so you got to make the best of your opportunities when you have them.
And you should also make it as difficult as possible on your employer or whoever's got to make that call in the end to have to make that call.
Or the next one.
Why give anybody an easy way out? If they're looking to cut numbers or trim the fat, so to speak, why make it easy on them? Make it difficult on them. Make them feel like crap if they've got to have that discussion with you. You'll never hear a Knox lost his job because they didn't work hard. Just, it's not happening, because that was our dad. Our dad and our mom told us, listen, you better work your ass off. That's just the way it goes. Like, you represent yourself through work ethic more so than anything. Like, bust your ass, work hard. Yeah, maybe it's not the smartest thing in the world. Maybe you need more, you need this, you need more sleep. Dude, bust your ass. Don't give anybody a reason to walk away from you just because you half-assed it. And that blows my mind that anybody would sit there and be like, yeah, I just don't want to go back into the game. It's too cold.
Checked out. Don't want bad film.
Why? Like you bounce.
And why do I want you if I'm the next team? This next team that signed him, that may be something that our scouting department has on file. And you're not going to get the grace or the benefit of the doubt in any of those situations at that place.
And by the way, talking to collusion, you mean to tell me there's probably not conversations that, hey, so-and-so called the Ravens were like, hey, so what was your experience with Diontae Johnson
100%.
like? Oh, well, this is what he's like.
100%.
It's called references. And that's a bad reference to have on the resume there.